Let's move now to an industry that has not yet restarted. COVID-19 has had a disastrous impact on events and exhibitions and conferences too. The ban on mass gatherings brought the industry to a grinding halt. Now, the Association of African Exhibition Organisers believes they have a good case to allow for the reopening of exhibitions this year. And I'm joined by its chair, Progeny Pather. Good evening, Progeny. Always lovely to chat to you. Now, you want exhibitions to be reopened. You're saying if shopping malls are opened where there's a lot of foot traffic, why not expos? You and I both know, and we've been to a number, an expo tends to be an absolute crush of people, interacting with different stalls, speaking to different businesses that are plying their trade. I mean, that's the fun or the horror of it, depending on your personality. How do you think you can open up expos safely in this era?
Well, you know, the big thing is, and I'm glad we've been working on this for a while, because, you know, our industry came to a grinding halt from March when the Disaster Management Act came into place. And yes, it's given us a lot of time to think about how we proceed. But the one thing about our industry is that we are a very regulated industry. Even before COVID-19 protocols came about, in order to open an exhibition, a conference or an event, there are strict safety protocol that you have to follow. You have to adhere to, you have to apply to the health and safety in your province. So we've been working together with national associations and countries abroad, and we put together a safety protocol that will allow us to operate safely. Now, you must remember the difference between a gathering, a mass gathering, and our event is that our events are organized gatherings. That is the difference. And because it is organized, every single person that is on our exhibition floor or event floor is able to be tracked, traced, and screened. So
let me just jump in there, Progeny. Are you envisaging a system where, for example, and we know you buy tickets to an exhibition, you would perhaps give people time slots and say, you can be in the exhibition from 9 to 11, this many people? Are those the sorts of innovations you're thinking of?
Absolutely. I mean, look, the document is pages long because we've had to think about everything from build up to breakdown. I know a lot of people think that the event just happens over those 3 days, but there's lots of planning and preparation on site before and after. So yes, the time slots will work, but also remember, Sally, that our events take place in very large venues. And right now, if I look at retail, I think it's 1 in 4 square meters, one person allowed in every 4 square meters. So yes, time slots will definitely be something that we will look to. There's a lot of consumer events that I think that's why people look at it and think about buying tickets. But there's a lot of trade exhibition events that happen as well, trade conferences. So it's all about business to business. And every single one of those events, you have to register before you attend. So again, time slots would be in place because we'll only allow a certain amount of people in a given time frame, well, depending on the size of the exhibition as well. Can track also where in the exhibition that person has been, because the technology is so advanced that is available to us. So yeah, there's so many possibilities in terms of allowing us to reopen.
And it's often a fantastic vehicle for small businesses. I know from going to the Mama Magic Expos that a lot of small businesses are plying their trade. What sort of impact has the closing down of exhibitions had specifically on small businesses?
It's huge. I mean, you know, we've had, as an industry, we've all had to either cancel or postpone our events to next year, or hopefully later in the year, we're hoping to have something. And we've had to speak to all of our clients, and we did a little bit of a survey with all our members or organizer members, just chatting with them to discuss what has the impact been on these businesses. And across the board, whether it's small or large, it is a devastating impact. They rely very heavily on that event to carry them forward through the rest of the year. Many of them do about 50 to 60% of the sales for the year based on that event, and that's what carries them through. It's not just the sales that happens and the deals that happen, the contacts that are made at the event, but you can track the sales from an event between 3 and 12 months after an exhibition happens. So we're connecting buyers and sellers. That's what we do.
Progeny, I'm wondering if you've had a response. I would imagine that it's up to the Trade and Industry Minister, Ibrahim Patel, to give you a response. Is that correct? And have you had word?
Well, we haven't had word from the Department of Trade and Industry as yet. We do work very closely with the Department of Tourism. So we're working very closely right now with South African tourism and to put together these protocols. And, the minister, this week we celebrated Global Exhibitions Day. And we had a very positive note from the minister who tweeted that she is very much in support of the reopening of our industry. And she will commit to dealing with all the stakeholders to put our case forward for our reopening because of the massive impact it has on the industry at whole. We fall into the tourism sector because our industry feeds into tourism and hospitality. Remember, all the people that come to our exhibitions rely on hotels, flights, accommodation, restaurants. So all business tourism leads to leisure tourism as well. So the ripple effect of our exhibitions not happening affects the tourism industry at large as well.
Well, do keep us posted, and good luck with your plans. That's Progeny Patha, Chair of the Association of African Exhibition Organisers, and of course exhibitions currently not allowed under Level 3.